Growing up, I watched both my brothers. I just would go to every athletic event, and I'd, try to emulate everything that they did, and just the absolute positivity of Dad raising us, like do whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish.
Susan and I would say to each other almost 2-3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week, you're going to the high school, I'm going to the junior high, you're going here. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time. It was a time that went too fast.
Sports was my life in high school. It takes up a big memory chunk.
Most people don't realize in high school he's a 3-sport athlete. He played football, he played basketball, he played baseball. So he never really got into the weight room and really developed physically like a big offensive lineman until he got out of high school and got into college.
I wanted to go to college on an athletic scholarship. That was my whole goal. And I was a bigger guy, but I wasn't very coordinated. And they told me I had to work on my athleticism.
When he left out of Fayetteville High School, he was a tackle. He left out of Colorado State, he was a tackle. He actually played 1 year in the World Football League, the last year it was in existence. And that was kind of the developmental league for the NFL, and he was a center. And from there, he got on the practice squad at the Houston Texans, and he played offensive guard there, and he got to where he started there, and then he moved on to Oakland, and he played 2 or 3 years there also as a guard.
We didn't miss a home game for 5 years at Colorado State. That's a 14-hour drive. And Susan was working at Vandergrift Elementary School, and we didn't miss a game. And we followed up with attending a lot of games in Houston also. And that was only a 9-hour trip.
I was fortunate enough to be able to go see him play 2 or 3 times when he was in the pros down in Houston. I mean, it was 2 or 3 of his coaches that were probably as proud of him as anybody we've had to go through.
Mike Adams, Fayetteville High School coach and then now Farmington coach, said something that the coaches tend to use, but it really is applicable to Michael. And that was, he said, he's a great football player, but he's a better man. And then Michael's response to that, with his great sense of humor, would say, well, he doesn't think much of me as a football player, does he?
He was a leader not only by his actions, but also just vocally, he would be the kid that would try to make sure everybody else was doing what they were supposed to do.
In sports, though, it's like, you sweat together, you bleed together, and just you create these bonds that are almost bigger than any other aspect of life, and you've created such a strong friendship. I have a lot of friends from the NFL still that I talk to, I still go on trips with, and meet up with them. And I think that'll be like that for the rest of my life, because it's, like you can relate to the hardships that they went through along with yourself, and you just create such close friendships that last forever. So
he's got a kindness about him and a patience, and if you asked me what some of his personal characteristics were, I'd have to say, number 1, far and away, humble. And he just shares himself, and he's kind and considerate. He has all these characteristics, but he wouldn't hesitate, and he didn't hesitate, put you on your back.